Hello and welcome to a brand new preview episode for Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hello.
All right, guys, we're back. This is a preview for episode 222, Confirmation. So this is the 2016 film directed by Rick Famuyiwa and starring Kerry Washington and Wendell Pierce. Oh, and also Jeffrey Wright is in this. I did not know that. This is all about the Anita Hill... basically Anita Hill standing up during Clarence Thomas's confirmation hearing in that sort of case, calling out Clarence Thomas for being a piece of shit. We all know how history went, but this is the movie about that, which is pretty timely considering nonsense with Clarence Thomas in real life, all these years later, and his crazy-ass wife. And obviously the Supreme Court and what it is deciding to do to women in this country. So Tiara is unfortunately not here for this preview episode, but she will be back for this episode for 222. So check out Confirmation. It is on HBO or HBO Max. It's an HBO film. Again, starring Kerry Washington and Wendell Pierce. So we will dig into that next week in depth. So before we get into... our random topic this week, we are sponsored. This episode is sponsored, so I will let Micah take it away.
Thank you, Jay. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's. I mean,
That's good.
I mean, look, like you need, like when you're messing around down there, you need to be precise. You can't just be all, willy-nilly down there.
That's not. Don't take a straight razor. That's not a good idea.
Yeah, no. What is a good idea is using Manscaped. Manscaped's performance package, the ultimate in men's hygiene, comes in a bundle. So join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with an exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping when you use the code BLACK. I mean, that doesn't get any easier than that. Use the code BLACK at manscaped.com for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Look, I use Manscaped. Look, down there.
Also a member, not just the the president. I'm also a member.
Yeah, I'm also a client. And look, I can't tell you I've gotten a rave review from the only person that
fair enough.
I mean, look, I don't know what to tell you guys. Like my wife was like, "Wow, this is actually amazing. Like it will change your life." And you don't want it to be like you don't want it to be like a jungle down there. You know what I mean? Like
it's not a good look.
It's not, man. It's not, and especially with someone like me who I am like hairless up top, right? But right below the navel, I mean, I could walk around naked. You wouldn't know it. It would look like I'm wearing fur pants, right?
Oh, like He-Man shorts.
Exactly. Exactly.
Fair enough.
Like I got so much hair on my legs, you can braid it. You know what I'm saying?
That's disgusting.
So, right. So, like, down there, it gets kind of messy. And my wife was thoroughly impressed.
Wow, where is this product from? It's from the future? No, this is a good product. We both use it. And yeah, we are not in the business of lying to people. Like we would not have accepted the sponsorship if it didn't work. It's a good product. It really is. I highly recommend it. Again, you can go to manscaped.com, put in the code BLACK, for 20% off and free shipping. Can't beat that, man. It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
All right. So, random topic this week. I mean, what else are we going to talk about, right? The Supreme Court has decided that women shouldn't have basic rights over their own bodily autonomy. Unfortunately, we wish Tiara was here because I would like to get her opinion. But spoiler alert, she ain't pleased. I talked to her over Messenger. She's none too pleased, and rightfully so. So, I mean, I guess like I've obviously talked about it extensively on our political show, Look Forward, which you should check out, by the way. But I haven't heard your thoughts, Micah. So I'll go to you first. Like, what are your overall thoughts? Just in general here.
That setup is the classic, set you up for you to say the opposite of what you think I'm going to say.
Right.
But this is so serious, like I'm not even going to do that.
No,
joke.
That's insane.
Yeah, no. It's a sad day. It's a sad day. It's a cop out. That this is being overturned on a federal level. Like, this is what the federal government is for. Stuff like this, to protect its citizenry from outrageousness. And for it to just be like, well, leave it up to the states. It's very cowardly. It's very cowardly.
It is.
It's also the beginning of a slippery slope. And I don't mean to like fearmonger, but it is not out of the realm of possibility that other essential freedoms are going to be stripped away or left up to the states, right? States' rights, right? The only time you hear states' rights is when people try to justify, calling black people 3/5 of a human being and using them as slaves, right? Like, that's not states' rights. Is when you hear that, that's a term that should be a dog whistle for you. That you in danger, girl. Yeah, like Whoopi and Ghost. You in danger, girl.
Right, exactly. Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no, this is a sad day, and look, it's not out of the realm of possibility that gay marriage is next. Gay marriage is next.
They'll go after Obergefell. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, gay marriage is next. And then if they get gay marriage, I mean, I don't know what else.
Loving versus Virginia will be next.
Which
I know people think that's crazy. No, it's not. No, it's not.
I mean, if they get, I think it's I think it's possible, but I don't think it would happen as quickly as Roe being overturned and gay marriage not being a thing anymore. Because everybody hates the gays, right? Like, I think they would go after.
Politics,
I think
yes.
they would. In politics. I don't give a fuck.
Relax.
Just like calm down. Like, y'all are cool. Y'all are cool with me. I just don't know, man. It's sad. It's real sad. Cliche. Like, we got to fight for our right to, not be fucking monsters. I don't know. It's sad, man. Like, I don't. My thing is, I don't understand. I'm trying to justify. I can't see the other side. Like, part of me, part of my thinking, and people will accuse me of being like a fence rider, because I try my best to see both sides of an argument. Even if I don't agree with it, like, I try to see where you're coming from in some sort of, in some way. I'm because I want to understand what you're coming from. This, I just can't.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. Like, a little bit of like political inside baseball here. I mentioned Loving versus Virginia, which is interracial marriage, right? The landmark case for that. But there's another case that I think they would go after before that. And today we got our first signal that is absolutely true, which is Brown versus Board of Education. And again, if you think, well, I'm not a woman, I'm not a woman of childbearing age, right? Whether you're a man or an older woman, and you're like, look, I'm not a person of childbearing age, or I don't want to have kids, or I have my tubes tied, or I have a vasectomy, whatever. So this whole Roe v. Wade thing doesn't affect me personally. It's not. It is about Roe, and Roe is incredibly important, and I think it should be protected. I'm pro-choice. Like, it is what it is. And I'm not ashamed of that. Like, I don't give a shit. But but it's not just about Roe, and that's why people are not just generally pissed, and they are pissed about Roe, but it is about the slippery slope that Mike is talking about, because this is based on taking down Roe, which is based on right to privacy. And because the term right to privacy is not written in the Constitution, this is where that leaked Sam Alito opinion is based on. That's what he's basing it on. That is what the most likely five conservative judges are basing on. So this idea that there is no right to privacy, which in and of itself sounds insane. Like that sounds crazy, right? In the modern era, that sounds nuts. But the other thing, like education in Brown versus Board of Education, is also an unenumerated right dealing with privacy and not just privacy, but it touches on that. So today we got notice from Texas, Greg Abbott, the governor, right? These aren't like the extreme wackos in Texas. These are mainstream Republicans, are saying that he is going to bring a case to the Supreme Court to challenge whether or not they should have free education paid for by the states. That public education should be free. They're going after education. And guess what? They're not going after white kids. They're going after having to pay for brown kids to go to these other parts of Texas and get good schooling. Because rich white people don't want to have to pay for poor people of color to go to school. That's going after Brown versus Board of Education as a fundamental. So don't think that this Roe v. Wade thing doesn't affect you. It does affect you. It affects you and it affects your kids. Like
even if it doesn't affect you,
and you should care anyway. But I'm just saying directly.
You should give a fuck. You should care because you live in a society. And
right.
I don't. And I'm
at the most basic level,
Joker thing. Like at the most basic human Christian level,
right?
You should care about your fellow human being.
That's right.
And the rights and the rights that your fellow human being has. I'm not saying you got to give a fuck about them. I'm saying put yourself in their shoes. It's called the golden rule, yo. Like put yourself in their shoes.
It's kind of the basis of like all religion. Like it quite literally is.
It really is, man. It the basis. Really is. And I understand. Look, I would not want my wife to have an abortion. I wouldn't want that. But at the same time, if we had to, we would.
Right. If your wife's life was in danger, if your child could not survive outside of the womb, like those are human normal things. Like that shit happens.
Even if we sat down and said we cannot afford to have a baby at this moment, we would. And it just is right. And I love the conservatives are really, really good at branding. Like they're not good at a lot of things, but they are good at playing the political like pop culture zeitgeist thing and sloganeering and shit like that, right? Like pro-life. Well, who isn't pro-life, right? Like and pro-life, if you're on the other side, the other side is, it's assumed that you are anti-life, right? Or pro-choice. Oh, so you choose to kill this baby, right? Like they're brilliant. They're masters at it. And I wish someone from their team would just like defect and like just consult with our side.
Yeah, if you could just help us with the sloganeering, that'd be great.
Yeah, like defund the police. Maybe you shouldn't use those 3 words in that order.
Yeah. It's a bad slogan, guys.
It doesn't hit the ear right.
Yeah, it don't. No, it don't. It's stupid.
And look, this is primarily going to affect poor people. I don't care what color you are. This is going to affect poor people. Um, you know, I hate to break it to any white people that might be listening that, are like, these guys are fucking dumb, right? Like, it's going to affect you because rich white people don't want you in their neighborhoods either. They don't. They don't want but at the same time, like they want more.
They want more of you. They want more of you.
They certainly want more of you.
Yeah.
But they don't want you. Which is why, like, race relations amongst, like, poor people who have to work together, like, they're cool, right? Because it's like,
yeah, generally okay.
Yeah, they're generally okay.
And look, rich black people and rich white people get along just fine.
Yeah. If you're at now you generally have to be like a little bit richer than the rich white people.
Yeah, you can't. It's got to be even Steven, or you got to be above them. You can't be slightly low. They're like, what are you doing here?
You can't be slightly low, and you can't be greatly high either.
Like, nah, you got just enough to make it reasonable. Just enough.
It's a sweet spot.
Yeah,
it's a sweet spot.
Yeah.
But it's a sad day, man. It's a sad day. And I mean, the only thing that we can do, the bare minimum that we can do is to try and vote every time. And look, I know people don't want to hear that, right? People don't want to hear that. I got a friend who went on a scree about, don't vote for anybody because that doesn't affect you personally. Like, what kind of selfish ass shit is that, right?
Okay, you said it. I didn't say it. You said it.
But like, because that made me mad, yo. And I really feel for that person. I really feel for that person. But like, you don't know what you're talking about, man. You don't know what you're talking about. And politics isn't. You're not gonna make instant change. You know how you get instant change? When you have a fucking king, when you're under a dictatorship, and then the change still might not be what you want.
It definitely ain't gonna be what you want. It's what that person wants.
I don't understand. Yeah. I don't understand why people don't understand that. It's you can't turn a boat on a dime, man. You can't.
There's 325 million people in this country. You think you're gonna just change shit overnight? What kind of naive, dumb shit is that? Like, I voted once, they ain't fix it. Yo, come on. Like, you gotta grow up, man. You gotta grow up. That particular mindset, I'm not talking about the person, I don't give a shit, but that particular mindset is exactly how we got here. Which is, if it's not about me, then who cares? I said on our political show, I'll plug it again, Look Forward. I said on that show that, and not just me, my co-host on that show too, we said when 2016 came around, we said, if we lose this, like, you are putting women's rights, bodily rights up for grabs. And Republicans will take every advantage at destroying it. You're putting minority rights up for grabs. And people decided, most people saw that and go, yeah, that ain't worth it. I'm going to get out there and vote. But enough people decided, you know what? I don't like this person who's running. They're not the perfect candidate for me. Not a big fan. Meanwhile, they know that this other person is 100% bad. And they equivocated and they didn't see it as important. And then they basically sacrificed women, gay folks, racial minorities. They gambled them and they lost. And so they let them be sacrificed at the altar of their own egos. And nobody wants to admit that. The people who did that do not want to admit that, because to admit that would mean that they'd have to look at themselves and be honest that they made a mistake. They made an error. Look, I'm going to beat you up about it until you can be honest and say that you made a mistake. And if you decide you never want to do that, well, guess what? I'm going to keep kicking you in the teeth over it until the day I fucking die, because you caused this. There's no magical reason. I see people now say, well, I'm not going to vote for Joe Biden in 2024. And if he loses, then that's because he sucks as a candidate. And he if he loses Trump, that's because he sucks as a candidate. He beat him last time. He clearly doesn't suck as a candidate to beat him. He clearly doesn't. He got enough of you to come out and vote for him last time. Like, politics is a marathon. Or if you want to use, a better analogy, politics is a war. It's not a battle. You think you're done? You're not done. Like, people vote once and then they're like, that's it. I'm fucking put my feet up. Nah, yo. Like, you gotta
vote one time every year, every 4 years.
Every 4 years.
When the stuff that the immediate change that you want is done every 2 years.
Right. And people don't vote in the midterms. Like, it's more important for you to vote in the midterms than it is in the election for president. It is. It's more important. Vote in all your local elections. Vote. I mean, we talk about this. Like, vote in your local elections. Vote in the midterms. Vote for president. You should. Don't get me wrong. I think you should vote for all of them.
Absolutely.
But it definitely matters more to get control of Congress in those off years. And sometimes during the presidency, right? Like, it's not like senators and House members aren't up for vote or up for election during that time too. But like, it's important to get hold of Congress, right? And so this idea of what does this affect? Who does this affect? Mike is right. Like, this will disproportionately affect poor people. This will disproportionately affect people of color. I mean, if you read Sam Alito's opinion, he tried to appeal to Hoteps for a second, which I thought was interesting, where he's like, the initial creation of Planned Parenthood that does a lot of these abortions was those people were into eugenics, and there is a disproportionate amount of black children that are aborted. One, Sam Alito, go fuck yourself. You don't care about black people. Knock it the fuck off.
You really don't.
Don't use us as.
Fall for that shit either.
Please don't fall for that shit. Right. They're just using that shit as a wedge. They're using black people as a wedge to get more black people to come to their side. They don't care about us either. They're worse. They're far worse than Democrats. Democrats are like a kid who Democrats are Charlie Brown, who is an optimistic kid who thinks that he can kick the football. Republicans are Lucy. They always move the football at the last minute. They are doing it on purpose. They are the evil character in that scenario, right? So, you don't go, oh, well, Charlie Brown keeps falling for it. He's a piece of shit. He's equally as much of a piece of shit as the chick who's screwing him. Like, no, they're not the same. I can understand frustration with both, but they're not the same, right? So, this idea of it hurting minorities very specifically is very true. And look, that history of eugenics and stuff like that, that's also true. However, you do know that everyone who works at Planned Parenthood isn't a eugenicist, right? That's not a requirement. Also, the reason why there are more abortions of black children or of potential children is because black people are the poorest. They're the poorest. That's why, right? If the vast majority of white people, or the vast majority of the most poor people in this country were white, and I mean that statistically. I don't mean raw numbers, but statistically, right? Statistically, black people live in more poverty than white people, right? If that were reversed and more white people lived in poverty than were in middle class and up, it'd be the same thing. It'd be the same thing. So it has much more to do with poverty. So if you want to address those issues, then you address those root cause issues. Abortion is not the root cause issue of why black people are having trouble. It's actually, if anything, it is a symptom of something else, which is, hey, we can't afford these kids. Or, people are poorly educated about sex, right? Those are the things that are very true, right? Of any poor population. But look, rich people and white people specifically are going to be able to get their abortions. They're going to be able to do all these other things. But that's not where this shit ends. They're talking about in Louisiana right now, they're putting up a bill today that just passed committee to ban in vitro fertilization and criminalize miscarriages as homicide. As homicide. A thing that a woman can't help.
How does that even
Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows?
Like the prefix "miss" denotes it was not on purpose.
Yeah. They're trying to set it up as homicide. Texas is thinking about criminalizing it as homicide as well. So and you want to get real crazy, punishable by death to get an abortion. They're so pro-life that they would murder the mother of this potential child. But again,
wow.
But again, it's Texas. Texas, like, they're like, oh, does that person who committed that crime, are they like not neurotypical and can barely say their name? Fucking execute them. That's just what they do, right? They're insane. But when you hear people tell you to not vote, understand that the system does not work if you don't vote. They don't get those votes. Like, sure, they don't get those votes, but that's just less votes in the pool.
Yeah, yo, it's not you not voting doesn't take a vote away from them.
Right. It just keeps it at zero. Especially if you are pro-choice. If you want to, or you don't even look, you don't have to be pro-choice. If you are pro-choice, if you would like to make sure that same-sex marriage stays around, right? You might not even be for that. But if you want to see Brown versus Board of Education stay around, you're probably for that one. If nothing else, you're probably for that one. By the way, you know the other case they're going after? Casey. Birth control. Access to birth control. You want to live in America where you can't buy condoms?
Yo, what the fuck is going on, dude? Like,
and look, if you think, hey Jay, that's insane. Surely that's not true. Okay. They mentioned Casey in that Supreme Court leaked document. He literally says Roe and Casey should be overturned. That's what he said.
So
access to birth control. All right,
so like
y'all.
Birth control pills or
birth control. So
birth I guess control. that's a wide net, man. That's a wide net. First of all, birth control pills aren't just like pills that women take to not have a baby. They're hormone regulators, right? Like it's. I'm not a woman, and I haven't played.
How dare you mansplain what orthotricycline is?
But from what I understand from a few women that I've lived with, is that women take birth control even if they're not on fucking trying to not have a baby because they're hormone regulators. So it's not like okay. All those like stereotypes of women being like fucking super like turning into demons and shit once a month. You want that? You want that? Guys? I'm talking to the guys here, right? You want that?
Look, I'm married, man. My wife ain't on birth control. That's on y'all. Look, if you 20 years old and you listen to this and I'm telling you that they're trying to ban birth control, y'all niggas better get your asses to the polls. Stop fucking around, yo. This is serious, man. This is serious. Right. It's very, very serious.
Oh, you banning condoms? Oh, hey, I can't use condoms, baby. It's legal. Like, nah, yo. Like,
yeah. I don't know if condoms are involved in that, but I know birth control pills are. 100. Well, my guess is actually condoms are not involved because the whole argument is that you are killing, like, you are stopping like eggs from being produced, right? So like, or stopping eggs from being fertilized. So they look at it as you are killing this potential child, which doesn't make any sense. But so hormonal or non-hormonal birth control, now that's a wrap for that. You guys good with that? Because like I said on Look Forward, I said, look, you really want to ignite this country in a way against you that you've never seen. Take away birth control, my nigga. Like, dudes would be like, yo, wait, what the fuck? Get out of here, yo. That's insane.
Women too, yo.
Yes, of course.
Because they women like to have sex too, guys. They do, right? You just don't have no game, but they love to have sex. But they ain't trying to get knocked up
That's crazy,
Come
dude.
on, man.
That's crazy,
Like, what?
dude.
I can't.
That's the
believe
best
we live
part
in
of
this
being
country.
in a stable relationship before you marry. It's like, oh, you on birth control? We ain't gotta use the bag no more? Hey. Right? That's your responsibility. Guys love that shit. So, nah, yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. But these are the people you're dealing with. So when you look at this Roe shit and you go, that doesn't affect me, don't be so fucking sure. Don't be so sure. And that's the scary part. Like, all jokes aside, that's the scary part. So please, for the love of God, vote. Vote. And look, I'm going to say it. People may not want to hear it, but you're going to have to vote for a Democrat, dude. You are. Nina Turner or any of these other fucking Jill Stein, they're not going to win. They're not going to win. Stop throwing your vote away. This is a two-party system. It sucks right now. Maybe one day that will change. That would be great. But right now it is a two-party system. You either vote for the Democrats or you vote for the Republicans. Those are the only two parties that are going to win any significant races. It's a fact.
Yeah, you can't.
It's a fact.
You can't be like. You can't be like, all right, I'm gonna play. You know, I don't know. I'm gonna play tic-tac-toe, right? And you can either be X's or O's. Well, I'm gonna be a triangle, and I'm gonna play over there. What
Yeah, like
you don't
lost.
You don't have any effect on this game,
right? You lost. You lost. And then you can't then get mad that like I can't believe X won. You didn't play. You didn't play. Take your triangle ass over there. Like that's nonsense. Look, if you want to see change, you have to get involved. You do. And look, that could be knocking on doors, that could be, voting, that could be, caucusing if you're in a caucus state, whatever. But at the bare minimum is voting.
Look,
the bare minimum is voting.
I don't do all that. I don't do any of that shit. I don't caucus. I don't vote. I'm not doing all that. But I vote every time. I vote every single time.
It's enough.
It's enough. And it sucks. I remember the longest I've ever had to wait in line to vote, which was excruciating for me. And I know for most people, they're going to hear this and they're going to be like, whatever.
Yeah. Any listener from Georgia is about to hate exactly whatever Mike says. Shut up.
The longest I had to wait was an hour and a half.
Wow. I've never had to wait that long.
And the only reason I did that is because I have a picture of my sister on I think it's my Instagram. One of the first pictures I ever took. And it's her doing this face. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Why is this taking so long? And I'm like, yo, it's important. Like, let's just suck it up and do it.
What year was that, dude?
That's the bare minimum. That's the bare minimum. Was it Obama? Was it Obama's first term?
2008.
Something like that. I think it was something.
It would make sense as to why it was so many people there.
Every black person came out.
Yeah, it was definitely 2008. Yeah, it was definitely 2008. Like I voted. I was moving back from California at the time, so I just did like mail in California. So like I already had posted mine before I had driven back, so I didn't have to deal with that. But I saw the lines. Black people were out in full force. Like, fuck that. Yeah, it was awesome. It was a beautiful thing, man. So, look, it's important, man. I often talk about defending people who cannot defend themselves. And in this case, women can defend themselves, but they still need your help. If you know a woman, any woman, I don't care, blue, black, red, white, whatever, protect them, man. Like that's their bodily sovereignty, man. That matters. You don't get a fucking say in that shit. Shut up. Like just make sure people get to make the choice that they want to make. If that is a I don't want to have an abortion choice, fine. If that is I'm going to have an abortion, fine too. It's not up to me. The only person I'm ever talking to them about that decision is my wife. That's it. That's it. And that's as far as it goes. So mind your business, I guess is the argument I would make, and help the government mind their fucking business too.
You're taking an option away from people, yo. It's an option. It's not forced on you.
Right.
Unlike some forms of sex that could be forced on a woman, right?
Right.
Like This is
Like-
just an option. Abortion is not forced on you. It's not,
Right.
yo.
Yeah, being
So I don't-
pro-choice
that's
is
what I don't
not actually pro. Like you gotta have an abortion. It's not a mandatory abortion. Like that.
Right.
That's insane. That's insane. But that's how the
Like,
right
that
often
doesn't-
paints it.
That doesn't make any. This is again the disconnect. I just don't get it. I really don't.
Like you don't get it, I don't get it, man. It doesn't make any fucking sense. So that is it for that conversation. So again, make sure you check out Confirmation. We're going to talk all about the Supreme Court and especially Clarence Thomas's trifling ass next week for Confirmation. Again, check that out on HBO, and we will see you guys next week.
See ya.
You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of Black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the Black community.